3 months ago, I moved from the US to the Dominican Republic with my daughter. And the question that everyone asks is, how did I know it was the right decision? If you're new here, I'm Tarra. I'm an artist currently living in DR, where I'm rebuilding my creative practice and life from the ground up. Okay, so let me tell you how I knew, because I think a lot of people right now are feeling that something needs to change, and you probably want to leave America right now. You feel it in your bones, but you don't know if you're ready. But I don't think the question is, am I ready to move abroad? I think the real question is, how long am I willing to keep pretending this is working? And once you answer that honestly, trust me, everything gets clearer. So in this video, I'm sharing 3 signs that told me it was time to pack up and leave the US. And I want you to pay attention to which one resonates most, because that's the one that's trying to tell you something. Okay, so the first sign is you're managing problems instead of solving them. I remember this one specific morning. I was sitting at my desk, looking at my budget, trying to figure out how to make next month work. And I realized I've been having this exact same conversation with myself for years. I was saying things like, if I just work a little smarter, if I have better systems, if I can find one more income stream, if I can cut back a little bit more. And every month was the same calculation. It was the same stress and the feeling of never quite making it. I wasn't solving anything. I was just tapping into my inner Olivia Pope, just managing the crisis on repeat. You know what happens when you're in survival mode for that long? Parts of your life starts to crumble. My nervous system was constantly on edge, but here's what I couldn't see at that time. I thought this was just me, like I was missing something. I thought other artists had figured out some secret that I didn't know about, and I thought other parents were managing better than I was. I didn't realize this is just how the American system is designed. You're supposed to be constantly scrambling. The rising cost of living, stagnant income, no safety net. This keeps you so busy surviving that you never have time to question if there's another way. And I kept telling myself, this is just what it takes. This is just the reality of being an artist and a parent. But another part of me kept asking, what if I've been bamboozled into thinking that this is it, that this is normal? What if this is just a trap? So ask yourself, have you been having the same conversation with yourself for months or years? Here's what I finally realized. Rent was going up faster than my income ever could. It had nothing to do with my efforts. As a mother and artist, I was trying to be resilient in systems that were never designed with people like me in mind. That was the problem. And now that I'm living in a country where the cost of living is lower, you can stop managing and start building. You can actually move toward financial freedom. And it's all because you changed the environment. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. The sign number 2 is that the numbers don't math. And I mean that both financially and energetically. Let me start with the financial part, because this was eye-opening. When I was researching what it would cost to live in DR, I realized my US rent could cover 1 to 2 months of living here. So let me give you actual numbers so that you can see what I mean. I was living in North Carolina. We were renting a 3-bedroom, 2-bath apartment for $2,200 a month, utilities not included. Now, my mom, she was living in Boston at that time, and she said the same thing would cost about $3,000 to $4,000. But here in DR, my mom's 3-bedroom, 2-bath apartment is $220 a month. Now, the house that we're renting now is a 3-bedroom, 2 full baths, plus a mini bar upstairs, which we can turn into an office. Downstairs is the living room, kitchen, dining room, laundry room, service room, 2 guest bathrooms, a garage, a big patio, garden area, and our rent is less than $750 a month, and it's a rent to buy. So just imagine what you can do with that extra money that was going towards rent, and now you just have extra money to be able to enjoy your hobbies and work on your business or your creative projects. But here's what people don't talk about when we talk about cost of living. There's also an invisible cost to staying. That cost is, what is it costing you to keep going the way that you're going? Is it your health, time with your family, your ability to work on what you actually care about? I knew families struggling just to buy groceries. I also know artists who had no choice but to close down their business because sales dried up due to the economy. So here's what you need to do. Run your actual numbers. What are you spending on housing, grocery, transportation, healthcare, utilities, childcare? If you have a business expenses. Then research what those costs would be where you're considering. Get specific, but also calculate the invisible cost. What are you losing every day by staying? Because sometimes the math that matters most isn't in your bank account. It's in what you're sacrificing to keep the current structure going. Okay, so the third sign is you have income that works anywhere, or you have a plan to build it, because you can't move abroad and hope it works out financially. You need money coming in. You need US money coming in. That could be a remote job, freelancing, starting an online business, selling digital products, teaching online, anything that can tap into a global market instead of local ones. This is the part people skip when they're fantasizing about moving. They focus on the dream, but not the foundation. And look, you don't need to have a perfect plan, but you do need to have something. If your income is tied to a physical location right now, the first step is to start building something that can travel with you. Now, it might take 6 months to a year, but that time is going to pass anyway. And knowing how to make money online, how to serve a global market, that's what makes this possible. Because you're no longer limited by geography. You can live where the cost of living makes sense for your income. You can move if things change. You can design your life around what matters to you, not around proximity to an office. And honestly, that's freedom. So ask yourself, what would I need to build right now to make this possible a year from now? Because the difference between dreaming about a different life and actually living it, it's really in the work you're willing to do in between. So those are the 3 signs. If you're realizing one of these is true for you right now, then write it down. Write what's actually not working, what's it's really costing you to stay. Then start exploring. Research the places you're curious about. Join those expat groups. Watch videos from people who are actually living there. Ask them specific questions. And work on your financial runway, however that looks for you. Save what you can and start creating income that you can take anywhere. And also give yourself time, at least 6 months to a year. You don't have to leave tomorrow, but you can start preparing today. Moving abroad was my answer. It might not be yours, but you have to know that you deserve a life that doesn't drain you just for trying to exist in it. I'm going to share more about what day-to-day life is like in the Dominican Republic, and I can also break down the cost of living, go more into details about it. I plan on talking about the adjustments, what it's like raising a child here, and what rebuilding your creative life looks like when you finally have space to think again. And if you want the deeper version of these conversations, then I invite you to join my Substack called Create Freely. You can find the link in the description below. Now, this is where I'm writing for women who are learning to trust themselves again, women who feel the shift happening and want to build a life that feels like theirs. So if that's you, I'd love to have you there. This is something new that I'm working on. Again, the link is in the description below. Let me know in the comments what resonates with you the most. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.